The Super Smash Bros. Franchise has been around for over 20 years, starting back in 1999 with Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo 64. It started as the brainchild of Masahiro Sakurai and Satoru Iwata, who took interest in a side project that was designed to be a 2D fighting game for the console. Although its earliest design featured faceless models and generic locations, Sakurai understood that for his game to be successful on a home console, he would need to build atmosphere, which is what compelled him to use Nintendo's mascots as the branding for his game. Through the game's unique mechanics and cast of fan-favorite Nintendo characters, Super Smash Bros. Found no trouble in selling over 5.5 million copies, making it the 5th best-selling N64 game of all time, falling short of the four titans Super Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, GoldenEye, and Ocarina of Time. Over its lifetime, the Smash Bros. Series has inspired many similar games, all seeking to utilize the formula that made Smash so great. Some have proven to be successful in their own right, however, almost all have fallen short to Smash Bros. There doesn't have to be only one definitive platform fighting game, but I intend to show you how great the disparity is between the glorious foundation set by the Smash series and these wannabes that seem to be shooting themselves in the foot. Drawing from my opinion, I will outline several factors that make Smash unique as a game. Feel free to skip ahead if you're already familiar with the core mechanics. Starting with stages, the Super Smash Bros. Stages include a wide variety of platforms, each with their own diverse layouts. Most playable stages consist of a large platform serving as the main battleground, a few smaller platforms scattered above, and multiple drop-off points for characters to fall off or strategically move under the stage in the right conditions. In this design, being sent off any edge of the screen will put you in contact with the blast zones, which are designed to kill you.
Why you bullying me?
There are usually no obstacles preventing you from moving freely about the stage, and your position relative to your opponent can give you an advantage or disadvantage, typically dependent on character abilities. Each stage can come up with its own gimmicks, giving the game variety and setting up different playable situations. Next, increasing percentage-based damage. Compared to the traditional fighting games, which normally use a health bar that depletes as you take damage, Smash utilizes a percentage system, starting all fighters at 0%. Each hit dealt by the player will increase the percentage of the opponent, and vice versa. The higher your percentages, the farther you will be knocked back by attacks, with the goal being to launch your opponent off the screen and into the blast zones, where they will be killed and lose a stock point. Upon losing a stock, the percentage returns to 0 for that player, and the game ends when one side runs out of stocks. Next, base movesets. In Super Smash Bros., all characters have a moveset based on cardinal directions of the analog stick. The regular attacks, which are assigned to the A button by default, change based on if your character is on the ground or in the air. The special attacks, usually unique to each character, are assigned to the B button by default and are usually the same on the ground and in the air. Lastly, every character has the ability to hold a bubble-looking shield while on the ground, which will shrink as it blocks attacks, posing a risk of breaking if overused, but will regenerate over time. If your character is moving, the shield button doubles as a dodge when the player holds the analog stick in a direction on the ground, or an air dodge when maneuvering off a platform. Lastly, there is a grab button, which allows the player to stun the opponent and throw them in a direction of their choosing. To summarize our options here, characters can attack, shield, and grab, mimicking a rock-paper-scissors style combat so that each choice has a counterplay. The Smash Bros. Development team has toggled with the counterplays for each installment of the game in order to create a more balanced triad. Characters. While this factor isn't exclusive, it is crucial in the appeal of Smash-inspired games. Smash Bros. Is considered by many to be the ultimate crossover fighting game. Its sizable roster and celebrated recognizable characters make for a welcoming melting pot of gaming fun. There are different archetypes of fighting styles, and the Smash development team has worked endlessly to make it so that all characters have a fighting chance while designing features based around their source material so that they feel true to their original series. The personality and diversity among the cast has been important to Sakurai from the beginning and is a focal point for the fan base. Many character requests have been made, and proper title representation is a very big deal for the fans, sometimes to a fault. Now that we've established the factors I believe contribute to Smash being a game people enjoy, I'm going to complain about why all these Smash clones kinda suck. Relying on hype and presenting themselves as a Smash killer from a marketing perspective. I'm going to address what I consider to be Smash Bros.' biggest offenders up to this point. First, Nick All-Star Brawl was released with the very clear goal of being a Smash Bros. Alternative. Today, I can count this player base on one hand. This criticism also applies to Multiverses, another trendy platform fighter that just dropped. I won't say anything too crazy right now about Multiverses since only time will tell. However, I'm already placing my bets on this game fading into mediocrity like its fallen brothers and sisters after a few months, once YouTubers stop milking this cow. Another one that didn't hit my radar until making this video was Rushdown Revolt. These games go crazy with their sponsors and marketing, which isn't a bad thing since everybody needs money in some form. However, they give off strong Raid Shadow Legends vibes through all the manufactured hype, rather than allowing genuine interest for the game to develop on its own. If there exists a Kung Fu Panda game on par with your platform fighter, I think most people can see through the garbage. I respect the drives of developers that want to make the next party platform fighter, but I would be lying if I said that I took something like PlayStation All-Stars seriously. And that had the support of Sony. I completely understand that they are operating in a genre they didn't invent, but these games often do not feel like they are worth their weight in gold. Like other gamers, I want to be good at platform fighters, but I have a tough time justifying my time wasted on games that are just an afterthought for developers. Creating a soulless roster. As mentioned before, Sakurai knew from the beginning that having a character base that people cared about was integral in getting a game like Smash to sell well. Not all games mess this up, but God would personally have to reimburse me a couple extra hours onto my lifespan for me to purchase and play a game as braindead as PlayStation All-Stars or Nick All-Stars Brawl. And I played SpongeBob for the Game Boy Advance one time. But with any platform fighter that doesn't come from an already established and reputable company, this is an uphill battle. Now, I can guarantee that every fighting game will have a generic mage, a gadget person or trap setter, a combo-heavy brawler, a high defense, high attack heavy character, a high speed, lightweight, evasive ninja, and some type of puppet or duo character, and the list goes on. But there needs to be more for players to actually care about with these characters. Now, if you're complaining, but not everyone who wants to make a fighting game has a company of already successful IP, well, too bad, I guess. I don't know. It's just the price of being an underdog. Probably doesn't help that these games do little past physical appearance to flesh out their characters and fall into the most shallow and uninteresting tropes imaginable. You can make common fighter classes interesting with good design, originality, and world building, but you don't see that all too often on these smaller games that care more about gameplay. I don't know any of these characters, but if they were given some type of backstory or some type of spin-off game to showcase their personality, I'm convinced people would be more connected. You know how many newcomers pick Mario because they know him, or Kirby because he's cute, or Captain Falcon because he looks cool? Some games nail the presentation and could really benefit by going the extra mile to establish lore for these characters. Smash did this perfectly with the trophy descriptions. I spent hours reading through and absorbing the lore on everything they gave me and had a good time doing it. Unfortunately, this is not at the forefront for trigger-happy game companies or developers. In fact, even when atmosphere is sacrificed for core gameplay, the gameplay can still be a hit or miss. Choppy animations and physics and shitty fundamentals. Let me preface this by saying, I'm not a normie. I'm not afraid to study the nitty-gritty and hit the training room to lab out combos or understand the nuances the gameplay has to offer. When I look at all these Smash wannabes though, I'm not only turned off by the movement options, I'm just straight up confused. Looking past a potentially low budget, a lot of these fighting games have choppy and unintuitive movement, attacks, and animations. Sometimes it looks like the characters on screen aren't actually hitting each other, and the devs felt so pressed for time that instead of an actual jump animation, they float up and spawn a fart cloud underneath them. I haven't delved far into Multiverses, so I'm not up to speed on the fundamentals, but I recently just learned that there isn't even a delineation between light attacks and smash attacks. I've seen similar games with a smaller budget create fluid controls and gameplay, but how are so many people messing up the least you could give your player base? Having to request basic gameplay elements be added in an already bare-bones game is demeaning to the fans and says a lot about the developers. I don't want your $5 skin, I want a backwards aerial attack. And don't get me started on the UI for some of these games. How am I supposed to read this? This is a real-time fighting game, not Civilization 6. There's so many ways to make a successful and easy to understand interface, whether the game is in pixels or 3D models, but come on, it's a hard issue to miss if you're a new player or developer. I've done a lot of whining and moaning about how no game will ever be as awesome as Smash, but I want to make it clear that I don't actually believe that to be true. I have a lot of faith, particularly in indie developers due to their unrivaled passion for the industry. Their efforts are proof that we don't need millions of dollars or AAA companies in order to have masterpieces like Undertale, Hollow Knight, Rocket League, or Minecraft. Although indie developers are at a disadvantage for having limited resources in terms of budget, time, knowledge, and reputation, they are much closer to our fellow gamers than most high-level executives at a game company can be. I get excited when games are able to borrow elements from Smash in order to unify the communities and create a worthwhile experience. I personally had a lot of fun with things like Slap City, Super Smash Flash, and Project M. I'm low-key hyped up for games like Fraymakers, a crossover platform fighter that I hadn't even heard of until a week ago, because unlike the other platform fighters that occupy the mainstream, the devs for Fraymakers can go 5 minutes without all eyes on them and don't sponsor every YouTuber with more than 15,000 subscribers. At the end of the day, I really like platform fighting games as a genre, but venturing outside of Smash barely seems to ever scratch the itch. I'm more often than not thinking about how hollow these games feel compared to any installment in the Smash series when factoring in how much detail and content is packed into every game. Not everyone has the time or money to dabble with every game churned out that remotely resembles Smash, so it is kind of uncool of all these content creators to be using their sphere of influence to make a quick buck while their fans are left holding the bag once the trend dies out. And there seems to be varied amounts of transparency about it. If there's anything I want you to take away from this video, always take what you hear from strangers on the internet with a grain of salt. Unless it's me. Anyways, here's some outro music. Have yourself a nice day.